Ask yourself why you never see a Democrat say what she's about to say, and she's a Republican. You're going to continue this on with the identity as a Republican so that we understand who's saying what. Because I don't see no Democrat saying what this lady says, not one. Exactly what she says, not one. I hear a lot of Republicans saying what she said, but not a single Democrat. We got an election coming up. We got to know the truth.
Recognize myself for the purpose of making an opening statement. Quite simply, men do not belong in women's sports. Let me say it one more time. Men do not belong in women's sports. The simple fact is that this needs to be said out loud is really kind of a sad reflection of where the other side is on this issue.
That's what I said.
There should be no debate about this. However, we are here today because the Biden administration is choosing to ignore the truth, and I might add the science. The truth is that by allowing biological males to compete in women's sports is fundamentally unfair. It is also unsafe. Scientific evidence, and I'll say that again, scientific evidence affirms that biological males and females have unchangeable physiological differences attributed to their sex. Some of these differences benefit male athletes. For example, males typically have greater muscle mass, lung capacity, and bone density than females. All of these characteristics give males a competitive advantage over females. This is why women should compete against women and men should not compete against them. That is what Title IX was designed to protect. By allowing biological males to compete in women's sports, we are placing our daughters in danger every time they step onto the field. This hearing is about protecting women, period. That's it. I'm standing up for the rights of women, children, my daughter, your daughter, our granddaughters. I'm frustrated as I continue to hear about female athletes who are injured by biological males competing in women's sports. I'm a mother. I have 2 daughters. Any parent will tell you that their most sacred responsibility is to protect their children. And that's what I'm trying to do. And that's what this hearing is about. That's why today is about protecting our daughters, our nieces, and our granddaughters. It's time for us to get off the sideline and actually stand up for them. Unfortunately, the Biden administration has shown that it's putting leftist policies before women and girls. In a fraudulent effort to be inclusive, the Biden administration is sacrificing equality. Instead of defending the hard-fought protections that Title IX secured. I mean, think of how long we fought for Title IX, for equality for women. The Biden administration has proposed 2 rules that will drastically alter Title IX. The Biden administration proposed rule redefines sex to include gender identity and expand Title IX protections to biological males. Protections that were created and implemented for women and girls. If the Biden administration is successful, it will mean that more women will lose out on academic and athletic opportunities that should have been afforded to them under Title IX. Again, the whole reason we put together Title IX. Last year, we celebrated the 50th anniversary of Title IX's enactment. For the last 50 years, we've seen Title IX's success in securing equality for women across the country. We cannot allow this administration to dismantle the rights and protections that women fought so hard to achieve. We must protect women and girls, and I encourage my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to stay centered on this issue throughout the hearing. To our panel, thank you for being here today before the subcommittee. I'm looking forward to having this very important discussion with you. And I now recognize the ranking member, Ms. Lee, for your opening statement. Ms. Lee?
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's disappointing to me that although the title of this hearing implies a much needed discussion, we're likely going to be forced to listen to transphobic bigotry. Because actually protecting female athletes in Title IX is important. Participating in sports provides so many benefits to our young people. Those benefits range from improved mental and physical health to enriched life skills, such as teamwork and goal setting. In terms of mental health, studies show that participating in youth sports is associated with lower rates of anxiety and depression, lower amounts of stress, higher self-esteem and confidence, and reduced risk of suicide. So why are my Republican colleagues working so hard to prevent our trans youth from participating? According to the Human Rights Campaign, in just the first 143 days of 2023, elected
We got a time. Did you just hear what she said? Our trans youth, 0 to 18. I'm gonna say it again. Let Mother Nature be right. Okay, 0 to 18, let her be right. At 18, do whatever you wanna do. I'll say it again. I'll drive you there. Whatever surgery you want. But you don't get to take it back and complain once you do it. That's all. That's all it is to it. From it. Okay. With the boys, don't do that, miss. You see you being tricky with your words. You ain't being honest with don't do that. Okay.
Anxiety and depression, lower amounts of stress, higher self-esteem and confidence, and reduced risk of suicide. So why are my Republican colleagues working so hard to prevent our trans youth from participating? According to the Human Rights Campaign, in just the first 143 days of 2023, elected officials across the nation introduced more than 520 anti-LGBTQIA bills and state legislatures. 23 states banned trans youth from participating in school sports consistent with their gender identity, with some laws focusing on kids as young as kindergarten. How competitive is kindergarten? You all are working so hard at excluding and demonizing a bunch of kids. I think it's important that we raise the voices of transgender athletes, their families, and teammates. I'd like to read a few of their stories written in the first person. The first from Cece Telfer, a professional track athlete, model, and advocate.
Hold on.
I was a
For every person that she talks about right here, I'll do 100 women that don't want it. So what's that mean? That means when we vote, this is gonna end. Not be mean, no hurting, no anger, but we voting. That's it. This ain't no more. November 5th, 2024. She's gonna have to change her view. That's all. That's it. Hillary Clinton changed her view, Trump changes his view. It's okay, that's politics. That's why we vote. She had it here. I'm gonna tell everybody about her. And then you vote.
Former D2 national champion in the 400-meter hurdles. And I am now a professional athlete training to make it on the Team USA and represent them in the following Olympics to come. Sports have given me a plethora of things, but mainly sports have given me strength, taught me how to overcome fear and stand up when defeated. Sports have given me collaborative skills that were developed throughout the years of being an athlete and having teammates. Sports taught me how to stay focused and committed, along with the necessary skills that sports has taught me and giving me clarity and freedom. Transgender women and girls, transgender people are not a threat. We don't play sports to cheat. We deserve the rights as any other women because that's what we are. There are rules and regulation that define our ability to compete. The narrative that builds on myself and trans kids in the community is negative and dehumanizing. It feels as though people don't want us to exist. And in order to change the narrative, because we do exist, and we're not going to stop existing, we need to stop these anti-trans bills. They're dehumanizing and kids are dying. Instead, I believe the government should step up and support trans people on all levels to show that we are seen and have rights and are people just like everybody else. From Ember, a transgender female high school softball player. When I was younger, I played co-ed baseball. I loved it. When the teams became single sex, I no longer fit in. I was teased and ostracized, though the most difficult part was not feeling like myself, so I quit. I came out as trans in 7th grade and wanted to play softball, but my state requires trans girls to take hormones for a year before they can play a sport. So I waited for 3 years. During that time, I became self-conscious, uncomfortable with my body, and lost all of my confidence. I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. I was finally approved to play on a girls' team in the spring of my sophomore year of high school. Playing on a girls' team has been an incredible experience for me. I have made
I couldn't. The trans. I mean, she's a kid. Leave that alone. I, I, that's dangerous.
so many friends and improved so much despite starting so late. My teammates treat me just like everyone else on the team. So do my coaches. My team is part of my family. We are all so different and come from different cliques, but when we're together on the field, we are there for each other no matter what. Every kid should be lucky enough to have this experience. And from Debbie Jackson, a parent of a non-binary teen. My child Avery is now 15 years old. Avery doesn't even remember what it was like to be viewed as a boy. We affirmed who they are at a young age and supported a social transition before kindergarten. During that time, Avery was in a co-ed trampoline class at a local gym. The gymnastics classes at the gym were divided by gender, and as we began referring to Avery as our daughter, Avery asked to move into gymnastics. It was one additional step towards being affirmed and accepted authentically. To this day, some of my favorite photos and videos are from the first day of that class when Avery marched so confidently onto the mats with a barely grown out traditional boyish haircut next to a gaggle of other girls with their bouncy ponytails. Avery enthusiastically followed every word of the coach, trying forward rolls and falling off the balance beam with every step, literally every step. Avery was the most gloriously awkward, non-athletic creature I have ever witnessed. I can safely tell you that Avery is still a gloriously awkward, non-athletic creature who will never win in any athletic endeavor. But participating in sports isn't about winning. Playing sports helps with mental health, teaches teamwork, provides camaraderie with others, and teaches discipline and goal setting. It opens doors to friendship, connection, and community with others. That's what my child experienced in that gymnastics class, and other trans kids deserve to experience all of those benefits too. I am so thankful that Avery didn't have to choose between not participating in sports or being forced to participate as a boy. Forcing a transgender child to choose between living an authentic life and playing a game is cruel. Think about how it would feel to have your body openly discussed by others or have the fairness of your existence and basic rights debated in a public forum. That's what you are doing to innocent kids. Please leave our kids alone. They deserve so much better from people in power. I want to thank these people for sharing their stories and reminding us that this is about children and daughters and sons and siblings and friends. These are real people with real experiences who deserve to feel loved and included. I'd ask unanimous consent to enter these letters to the Committee for Transgender Athletes provided by the National Center for Transgender Equality.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you. Sports are a vital aspect of education that offers important lessons. Athletic.
Does everyone who is opposed to this get to write? Can we get the people that don't want this to write letters? Because I'm pretty sure you'll have 100 and however many humans we have in this country. Maybe a million. Nah, like maybe 500,000. Like if once the curtain closes, they're gonna be like, that's the truth. So you got to stop using all these pretty words. Oh, the transgender community, ain't nobody trying to hurt nobody. Okay, transgender girls hurt females. Simple. That's it. Play against a man. Not his kids. Son. You gotta leave it alone. 0 to 18. No, not change your gender. I'm sorry. No drugs. Compete at no. It's crazy. It's bad news. You know.
Athletics allows young people from diverse backgrounds to engage in healthy movement and play, learn how to work as a team, and form meaningful connections. Madam Chair, I ask that while we sit through this hearing and hear the hateful misinformation I'm sure is going to come our way, let us not forget that children are at the core of this issue. I yield back.
Thank you, Ms. Lee.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to point out. Listen to what Republicans say. Listen to what Democrats say. Listen to how they say it. You are lying to yourself if you think 180 million people would close the curtain and say that this is okay. You're lying. That's the truth. I am not talking about hurting nobody. I'm talking about saving these girls. That's what I'm talking about. Trans adults, 18, compete as which you were born, or we got to start a new league. All right. Because you ain't playing with the girls. November 5th, we vote. All right. So that's what it's got. I'm guessing. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so.